Hey everybody, how's it going? This is OurHouse21 and got another quick tip for you. Now this one, I'm going to break some rules here because as you know, or anybody who's been watching a lot of these videos for a long time knows, speedrun guys are really protective of their gears. I don't really, it's not that big a deal for me, and the reason for which I'll get into in a subsequent video. But one of the things that is a hot topic is, plastic versus metal gears. And I see here, these are a couple of extra Mod 1 pinions that aren't in my cars right now. But you see, I mean, this is a 25 tooth, and this is a 15 or 20. I think this is a 22. Okay, but my deal is, a lot of guys, when you see them in their cars, these gears are dry, and they get them, and when these things spin up, I haven't done the math, but I think that these guys end up spinning somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 to 100,000 RPMs, well, probably more like 20 to 50,000 RPMs. I'll double check that number and I'll post it in a little box. But these guys spin really freaking fast. So when you spin gears that quickly, you actually get a lot of friction going in between the two contacts. And so some guys think that in order to make the car durable, I need to have as strong a component in as possible. So I'm going to use all metal gears. So let's say this right here is your pinion, and this right here is your spur, or vice versa. It doesn't really matter for here. You have two dry metal pieces spinning really fast against each other. That's bad. That's very bad, because there's a little thing called friction, and I think we all know what that is. But when you apply an object onto something and you drag it across, there's that force that you feel as it's dragging through. You can actually hear it in this case. Or if I drag my nails across, you can hear, the fact is that the two surfaces are contacting each other, and that contact causes energy to be lost. In this case, the sound. When you do it at a higher speed, it becomes heat. So, and the more friction there is, the more heat is generated. Now, the reason why this is so bad is because the coefficient of friction between metal on metal is some of the highest that you can expect to find out of any two materials. So if you have two metal surfaces under high force pushing past each other at high speed, you're going to create a buttload of heat. So how do you get around this? Well, there are a few things that you could do, but the easiest thing to do is lubrication. Now, I'm a little different. I feel, at least as of right now granted, I've only been up around 70 so far, so I still have about, I've only been 2/3 of the way to 100. But right now I'm using, a Robinson Racing 25 tooth pinion gear up against a plastic spur gear. And that seems to be working pretty fine for me so far. But to try to alleviate some of the internal friction that's going on through, I've resorted to using my good old friend Phil's waterproof grease here. And this stuff's for ball bearings, so it's a little thick, but it's good stuff. So what I do is I take a little bit of the grease and I put it on the tip of one of my screwdrivers, just kind of put it in here. Then I am able to turn the gear, or turn the wheels, and I don't know, let me try to get so you can see what's going on here. So the two gears mesh against each other, and after several rotations, it ends up leaving a nice light coat of grease throughout throughout all the teeth of both the gears. And you can't feel it, but I can. You can actually feel the gear actually get smoother. Now, this is a big thing because, as I said, sound equals energy. And the quieter your gears are when you're moving around, the less internal friction you have, and the easier the car will go. So if I put it down here and I drag it back and forth a little bit, I mean, you're hearing the action of the motor But the gears are actually, and you're hearing a little bit of chatter just because the drive shaft rattles around, but the gears themselves are actually going nice and smooth. And that's exactly what you want. So, well, and I mean, there's a lot of other types of lubrication you can use. RC Car Action they just did they converted a slash into what they call a drag truck, and they use a dry lubricant, which is basically graphite powder. I mean, this is the same type of stuff that you use for locks, and that stuff should work pretty well. Because essentially, what that does is get down into the little bit, and basically all these things make a little buffer between the two metal surfaces, or in my case, metal and plastic, so that the two can slide together and not cause a lot of heat to be generated, which will basically just waste a lot of your energy. So again, like a graphite or some kind of dry lubrication should do the job just as well. But the point is you don't want to have your gears dry, because dry gears equals high friction, and that's just going to be that's just one more source of of parasitic drag. That's just going to reduce your overall speed and not get you to where you want to be. All right. So, and oh, by the way, if you guys are probably noticing, there's some clues here as to what's to come for Dizzy, and I'm not giving away everything yet, but you know, I'll just go ahead and spend a second on this guy right here. Um, to make the chassis a lot more rigid, you know, I borrowed this idea for Tinsley Smith. This is an XL1 brace I have mounted with the shock towers, which makes a really good shock tower brace. Problem is, this does not work with every body, or I mean with every RC car body. So for example, a Scratch's body, because of the contours in it, you know, it doesn't really match up here. However, kind of round off the back, I've got some other little things going on. This is actually a rally rear bumper that I repurposed to go ahead and give me a little bit of extra rigidity here in the rear. So, you know, I'm a big proponent of using what I have, and you know, just trying to figure out how to twist it around and use it in a little bit different way. So like I said, this is rally bumper. The bottom of it, you know, that's just the stock mounting points. I flip this guy around, wrap it up around here, drill some holes, secure them in. Now I have a continual reinforcement that goes around the whole thing that helps to just add rigidity. How much does this little thing add to the overall rigidity of the platform or the chassis? Not a whole lot, but it looks cool, and it gives me something I can pick the thing up and move it around with, and that's probably the biggest purpose. All right, okay guys, stay tuned, more time. And as always, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check me out on Facebook. You guys know the page, but the link is published here below. And also, remember the mantra: fly, fix, fly, break it, fix it, do it all over again. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.